we could actually perhaps show on the screen what I've asked some of the younger people to be demonstrators. But if that's going to be on the video, I have to ask the parents, do you mind if that's videoed? So if only children whose parents don't mind them appearing, it would be briefly. But, we have to do that for health and safety or child protection. So would any of our younger people, or older people really, but anyone who'd like to hold a rock, come and help me? Right, these are two strong men. You've been watching the Olympics. You've been watching the Olympics? Was it good?
Yes.
What sport would you like to win a gold medal in?
Diving.
Diving? Right, well, if we put you up there, next time we have a baptism. I think that Marcus has already done a really high board dive, haven't you? It didn't work because there wasn't any water. But God sent his angels to look after you, didn't he, Marcus? I mean, amazing. He fell, I don't know, most of us have been praying for Marcus because he was unconscious. Fell over the edge of Cheddar Gorge. And here he is. Every bit as beautiful. Thank you, Lord, for saving Marcus. Totally amazing, and not a bone broken. Fantastic. What about you? What sport? No idea. Do you want to do sport? I think Joe, boxing? No. No. Cycling? Weightlifting? Ah, that's a pity because my first rock. Here you are, Joe. Oh. You can manage that? Okay, weightlifting. Now, there are lots of different sorts of rocks. Do you want to come? We've got enough rocks here for everybody to hold one or two. Okay. Weightlifting. This is a heavy rock. How would you describe it? Rock-like. It is a very rock-like rock because it's a piece of, I think, having consulted with the geology expert at the back, we have both decided it is igneous rock. Do you know what igneous means? It comes out of the fire, right? From volcanoes and things. And this is a piece of a sort of granite, I think, probably. And this came out of the lava of a volcano, anything up to sort of 2,000 million years ago, or much more recent. But that's a piece of very hard rock. What do we use granite for around Hastings? Well, few buildings. Sea defences. You need a strong, firm rock, don't you? Sea defences. Also, those who were on the first Sunday walk last week when we sort of nearly got run down by a steam train. Curbstones. You see them along the road. Hard things that need firmness. Okay. And then this. Here you are, Marcus. Now, what's this? Can you hold it up to people? What is it? A dirty rock. A dirty piece of sandstone. As Malcolm said, I should have cut it in half, but it belongs on my rockery and Jane would have been cross with me. But if you look inside it, you'll see it's laid down in strata. It's been laid down on the seabed by successive tide and then compressed down under a huge weight of other rock and sand on top of it. And that is shaped like that because it is very soft. It's a soft rock. What's the problem with having sandstone around Hastings? Wears away quickly. The cliffs fall down. Is that right? That's why we need the granite sea defences. But equally, it's a useful rock for rockeries. And for one thing is gravestones. Often been made of sandstone. I think Malcolm's going to come and correct me. I always live in dread, sort of when we've got experts in the congregation. Now here's another one. Would you like to hold that up for people to see? Now, whatever's that? What do we think that is? Is this igneous or sedimentary or a fossil? It's full of holes. Do you think that makes it sort of weak, having lots of holes in it? How would you describe it?
Full of holes.
Full of holes. It is, full of holes. Oh, Joe, here you are. Put that down. Well, I want him to be in the weightlifting. We want him strong, don't we, Joe? I think Joe's immensely strong. Look at those muscles there. Oh, yes. Need more. This is a piece that we found in Lanzarote from a volcano. Right, it's lava. But is it soft or hard? Hard. You can build buildings out of this. But it's also very light. Feel that, Joe? Is that better? Yes. You see, all different rocks. Thousands of different types of rocks. Here we are. Here's one for you. Oh, a heavy one for you. This is a piece of whitish grey colour, isn't it? A piece of limestone. And what's on the limestone? What's that? Is that a tyre track from a BMX bike?
No.
No.
It must be an ancient BMX.
An ancient BMX bike, yes.
No.
No. It's a fossil cast. It's where a shell of a huge ammonite had been millions of years ago, pressed into this piece of limey mud, and then hardened and hardened and hardened over the centuries. And so things leave impressions on rocks, just as on us. Lots of things do that to us. Things that happen in our lives, they leave marks, and some good, some not good. And sometimes the rocks are... Who wants to hold this one up? Yeah. Right, Mark's hasn't it? Can you see this? We were walking along Pet Level Beach, my wife and I, and Jane said, "Whatever's that?" And there was an animal's snout sticking out of the sand. Now, what sort of animal might you find on Pet Level Beach? Fish. It looks like a crocodile. And if it looks like a crocodile, it is a crocodile. Goniopholis, I am informed by the British Museum, lived 100 million years ago and slithered about on Pet Level Beach. So it's just as well we weren't there. And interestingly, what do you see about its teeth? They're not there, they've fallen out. But a modern crocodile, I showed you pictures of a modern crocodile a couple of years ago, which we floated past on a log boat in Nepal. They go at different angles to trap fish. But these are just like dinosaur teeth, aren't they? Those as well you weren't on Pet Level Beach 100 million years ago, give or take a few million. And then there are some rocks which are useful for other purposes. Here you are. You can put that down now if you like. This, is that light or heavy? It's heavy. Does anybody else want to hear it? It is heavy. Yeah. It's solid iron. Iron is hematite, iron ore. Very heavy. And that can be made into all sorts of things. Cars can be made out of that, believe it or not. And then there are some rocks which are quite pretty. Who wants a crystal? Who wants another crystal? Here, you have that one. You can put that rock down now. And here's some others. That's quartz. I couldn't find my nice quartz crystal. Quartz is hard. And can you see that glittering? That again comes out of volcanoes and hot molten lava. This one looks even better and prettier, doesn't it? Did you notice something about it? It's quite soft. You can scratch it. So it's easily... That is basically the same rock as this. Limestone calcite. Both calcium carbonate. Yes? Have you heard of calcium carbonate? You will do in your chemistry at school. I'm sorry. But anyway, they're both just two different forms of the same rock. And they look totally different. And then here's something which I think is very special. Here you are. Oh, Marcus, your thing here. What is that? What do you think that is? Crystal, what is it? What shape is it? Diamond. It's a diamond. Is it a diamond? No. It looks like a diamond. Is it a diamond? No. Again, it's soft. It's a crystal of talc, another form of calcium. But it looks pretty good, doesn't it? A parallelogram, that's right. So God has made all these different types of rocks. But there's something about them that... This piece here, do you want to show that to people? You find this on the beach. What sort of rock is it? Flint. Flint. Now, here you are, Joe. What sort of rock is that? No. No. It's flint. It's a Neolithic flint axe. Found near my old home where we were brought up. That's brown flint and that's grey flint, but it's the same stone. But what's the difference? The colour's different, but what's the essential difference? That one is much more useful than that, isn't it? It's been shaped. I think the amazing thing about this is that it fits my hand as perfectly as it fitted the hand of the Neolithic Stone Age man who actually made it, which probably makes me a Neolithic Stone Age man. But that's pretty clever, isn't it? No tools apart from other bits of stone. How do you think of that? You could cut with it, couldn't you? The difference is that's the raw material. And this is when it's been shaped. And I just thought it was a useful lesson that the Bible does describe us all as stones, living stones, and Net's going to be talking about that in a couple of weeks' time. But what do we need? We need to be shaped. We've got to allow God to shape us into something really useful. And this piece of rock here might say, oh, I don't want to be shaped. I'm quite happy as I am. Aren't I quite an attractive piece of flint? Do you think he's attractive? No. But he might be very proud of this bump here. And you say, well, to be useful, I've got to knock that off. No. We've all got to be willing to be shaped by God to be really useful. Yes. Maybe the rocks were soft. Or maybe Marcus got a very hard head. Anyway, well done. Thank you. Okay, was that useful? Different rocks? Okay, oh, sorry. First injured by a Stone Age axe, that would be dreadful. Right, now, you can stay in if you want and listen to the rest of the service, or you can go out and do the children's programme, which I'm sure you would probably prefer to do.